In architecture, one of the most fundamental debates concerns the relationship between form and function. Early modern architects believed that a building's shape should be determined entirely by its practical purpose. In other words, how a building looks should be a direct result of how it is used. This idea led to designs that favored clean lines, minimal decoration, and open interior spaces. However, not all architects agree with this strict approach. Some argue that buildings also serve cultural and emotional roles. A public library, for example, is not only a place to store books, but also a symbol of shared knowledge and civic pride. As a result, architects may intentionally design structures that appear inviting, impressive, or even inspiring, even if those features are not strictly necessary for the building's function. Over time, many architects have adopted a more balanced perspective. Rather than choosing between form and function, they aim to integrate the two. By doing so, architects can create buildings that are both efficient to use and meaningful to experience.
Architectural design can significantly influence how people behave within a space. Researchers have found that factors such as ceiling height, lighting, and room layout can affect concentration, movement, and even social interaction. For instance, rooms with higher ceilings often encourage abstract thinking, while lower ceilings tend to promote focus on detailed tasks. Architects apply this knowledge when designing spaces for specific activities. In schools, classrooms are often designed to minimize distractions and support sustained attention. In contrast, open public spaces like plazas or atriums are designed to encourage interaction and movement among large groups of people. However, the relationship between architecture and behavior is not entirely predictable. Individual experiences, cultural expectations, and personal preferences can all influence how a space is used. As a result, architects must balance general research findings with flexibility, allowing people to adapt spaces in their own ways.
Sustainable architecture focuses on reducing the environmental impact of buildings throughout their entire life cycle. This includes not only construction materials, but also energy use, water consumption, and long-term maintenance. One common strategy is to design buildings that rely more on natural light and ventilation, reducing the need for artificial lighting and air conditioning. For example, buildings with strategically placed windows can take advantage of sunlight during the day, while minimizing heat loss in colder climates. Green roofs, which are partially covered with vegetation, can also improve insulation and reduce stormwater runoff. Despite these benefits, sustainable design often involves higher initial costs. However, architects argue that these costs are offset over time through lower energy bills and reduced environmental damage. As concerns about climate change increase, sustainable architecture is becoming a central consideration rather than an optional feature.